You're watching Explore Tulsa.
My first introduction to coffee was I was 8 years old, and my dad gave me black coffee. It took me over 20 years to recover. So I actually did not really touch coffee again until I got married to my husband, Nathaniel. And he is an engineer, and what I tell everyone is coffee is his lifeblood. Like, there's nothing else running through his veins. He lives for coffee.
Honestly, I had absolutely no idea how technical it was. You know, you hear a lot of people like, oh yeah, I just cook coffee on a whirly pop. And so I didn't go that route because I'm an engineer, you know, and so, but no, it was a exploration, I suppose.
So we got a small drum roaster. It's about that big. And he just started practicing and researching and playing with it. And then we started sharing it with our friends. Like, they'd come over, we'd make coffee. This is really good coffee. Like, oh, well, this is the stuff that we roasted. Can I get some? Can you make some for me? And so eventually, family started wanting coffee. Additional friends wanted coffee. Like, do we make the jump? And so thought about it, looked at all the numbers, and decided, I think we could probably do it. There wasn't really any place in Broken Arrow that had the model that we thought would work best based on what our schedules were like and how, since we knew we probably wouldn't be able to do the coffee shop front, like a Starbucks or like even Romeo's in downtown VA, we thought that's gonna take a whole nother level of learning. So we thought, let's stick with the roastery and see where it goes from there.
If you turn it into engineering speak, roasting is managing a chemical reaction. And so you're managing that utilizing all of the technology that's built into these roasters to, you know, manage how heat's applied to the bean. Now, all of that technical detail and all the numbers and logging, that all boils down to, does the coffee taste good or not? But as an engineer, I can see a direct correlation between the two, and I feel like that helps me understand what I need to do to the coffee to make it have an optimal flavor.
You have to be really, really careful about the roasting, and there are so many variables. It's why we can't have people walking in the door when I'm roasting. There's too many things that could go wrong if I'm distracted.
So the roaster has two different thermocouples on it. So thermocouple is just basically a metal rod that's going to measure temperature. One of them is submerged in the beans as they roast, as they roll in the drum. And then the other one is actually measuring the exhaust temperature. When you take those two pieces of information together, the exhaust temperature to some extent predicts what the bean temperature is going to do in the future by maybe 15 or 30 seconds. And so by managing those and having an understanding of the chemical reactions and what you're trying to do to the coffee, you can manage the temperature input to be able to produce the desired output.
When we thought about the business, you know, we had just been married for maybe 3 months when this kind of all started. So newlyweds and a new business, like, okay, what are we really getting into? And he's a whole picture, like, he likes to see the whole thing. And I'm a detail person, but I also like to look forward. And like, this could commit us for probably the next 3 years. Do we want to stick with this? And if it succeeds, are we continuing it on after that, or are we just doing this as a hobby?
You know, waking up in the morning and then my wife is awesome and like makes me coffee before I'm even in the kitchen, you know, and being able to get that coffee. And then you know, on the drive to work, and I get to work and I sit down and I take my first sip, and you know, when it's a good cup of coffee, you're just like, ah, man, it's gonna be a good day. So, you know, whenever you get those cups of coffee, that's a good way to start the day. And honestly, that happens pretty often with what we're doing here.
So far, so good. We want to keep it going. You know, we don't regret starting it. It's been a fantastic learning experience, if nothing else.